You have arrived to our Real Estate Tools Bootcamp. I'm going to start digging into our content for today. Looks like we have lots of people joining us. Plus, you can also watch us live inside our Facebook groups, either our ROAR Facebook group, which is designed for agents of any firm, as well as the LAER Facebook group. I want to start today's program by stating that the next 3 hours are jam-packed with great content and information and tools and training and technology. We're going to show you marketing resources, etc. While we are a real estate brokerage, the program today is open to agents from any real estate brokerage. And what I always promise is you're going to get as much out of today. Like where you work doesn't matter. You'll get as much out of today's program as everybody else. This program is open to everyone. You're going to walk away at the end of today. You'll have buyer presentations, seller presentations, all kinds of phenomenal tools to help you in your business. So with that, I want to dig in and start sharing some of the resources that we're going to cover today. So let me just escape out of this. By the way, I know 3 hours is a really long time to do a Zoom presentation. We always say we'll try to get off a little bit early. Usually we don't. There's so much content that usually we go right to the end of the program. But I will say it again, we'll do our best to get you off a little bit early today. One of the things I always stress at the beginning of the program is to make sure you have something to write down notes. The goal is, I always say, knowledge is not power, execution is power. So knowledge is potential. So what you're going to learn over the next 3 hours and the tools and resources that you're going to receive over the next few hours, that is a great deal of potential for your business for this year, and so you can thrive in 2025. But it's only worth anything if you actually execute. So super important to have just one piece of paper with a pen. I say write down 5 to 10 things that you're going to go execute on. I promise you're going to get 40 or 50 things that you could go execute on after you leave today's program. But write down 5 to 10 so that then you can go execute on those when you leave today. Start working this afternoon at checking off stuff on that list. And as you complete each item, let's say that you go through, you finish the entire list right away. You can always come back and watch another boot camp. We do this at the same time, same place, first Friday of every month. It's always evolving a little bit because we always have new tools and new resources. But we do it the same first Friday of every month from 9 a.m. to noon. Not only that, we record them. So you can go to youtube.com/LAER training and watch the reruns of this. So youtube.com/LAER training, where you can watch the reruns. You could fast forward to the pieces that you like the most, etc. So what we're taking a look at today, and we're going to spend a few minutes on it this morning, only because this is going to be our roadmap to some resources. Again, if you just logged in, you don't have to be a LAER agent to get all the content that we're going to talk about today, including listing presentations, buyer presentations, pre-listing packages. Everything is open to agents of any firm. The first hour, we're going to spend a great deal of time on marketing and branding for your business. And I'm going to give you some links that you can utilize to start working on some great content for your business. And then throughout the day, we're going to move on to technology and training resources, etc. Just a really quick background on our company. LAER Realty is an independent real estate brokerage. We have 850 real estate agents. Originally, we were based out of Massachusetts, but we've expanded exponentially. We now have agents throughout Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and a pretty large footprint in Florida as well. We're independent. Where our name came from, LAER, is when we started the brokerage 10 years ago. We knew that our goal was to build and attract great real estate agents. Well, what makes a great real estate agent? Great real estate agents are strong. They are negotiators of difficult terrain. That just means, as you guys know, the best agents are really good at overcoming obstacles. That's what you guys do every day. And then the best agents are true protectors of their clients. The money comes last. They focus on helping their clients achieve their goals. So when we started the company 10 years ago, we didn't even know what the name was going to be. And so we put all of the qualities of a great agent, we put into a Google search: strong, negotiator, protector. When we did that, the first photo or image that came up was a lion. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate are at LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER because our LAER is the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. We then created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. We've been now in business for a little over 10 years, and we close about $1.5 billion a year in real estate business and continuing to grow. But one of our goals from the very beginning was to help every agent achieve the best version of themselves. That's not just our own agents at our own brokerage, but every real estate agent achieve all of their goals for themselves. And so that is why we made a determination early on that we were going to share everything that we do with the people we do business with, which is fellow real estate agents day in and day out. So what you're looking at right now is our LAER program and services guide. This is a downloadable guide. You can head over to LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com/success tools to download the most recent version of the program guide. This is a 40-page guide of the tools and resources available to our agents, but it's a stepping stone, a foundation for what we're going to cover today, because the guide is full of resources from the listing presentations, buyer presentations, great classes, things like that. So we're going to kind of use this guide as our roadmap. And again, the resources we're going to share today are available to all agents at all firms. So I don't want anybody, I could see we're a mix. About half of the attendees today are LAER agents, about the other half are from agents from other brokerages. You'll get as much out of today's program and content as LAER agents. Okay, the first few pages of the guide you'll see are our cultural values. These are important to us because we always say when agents are considering what brokerage to join, it's important to make sure your values align with the brokerage you're going to. That way you know that you'll be there for quite some time. Then there's a page in there about the fact that we're independent. We're really proud of being an independent real estate brokerage because it's kind of rare to see an independent brokerage that does so much business. We're consistently ranked in Real Trends 500, the 500 largest real estate brokerages in the country based on the amount of transactions and volume we do. And we're consistently ranked in Riz Media Power Broker Report as one of the largest. We're about 150, one of the 150 largest real estate brokerages for independents, and about 250 we come in if you rank us up against some of the big conglomerates and franchises out there. So from here on out, the rest of the booklet is tools, training, technology, etc. I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're going to spend the morning, the first hour or so, just concentrating on branding and marketing. The way this booklet is divided up is the first section. So you'll see 4 sections in the book, and we have them spelled out. The first section is marketing and branding. The second section is technology. The third section is training and coaching. And then the fourth section is administrative support. So we spend most of today, at least the first hour, talking about marketing and branding. We're then going to move into technology platforms, and then some training and coaching and other tools for your business. Again, if you logged in late, you can download this resource at LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com/success tools. And you'll go on there, you'll see our LAER program guide right when you log in. And then if you scroll to the bottom, there's a PDF version of this, so you can go download it. If you have a printer nearby, it's a great place to take notes. But if you don't have a printer, most importantly, just have a piece of paper handy where you're going to write down 5 to 10 things you're going to go execute on after today's program, because knowledge is not power, execution is power. By the way, as we go through the program, I'm going to give you some helpful hints on some of the items that you really need to execute on if you have not already incorporated these pieces into your business. Okay, so the first resource that we list in the LAER program guide is our LAERagentservices.com. This is our agent portal. So this is where LAER agents go to access tools, training, technology. But as I mentioned earlier, really anybody can go in here. You'll notice it is not a password protected, so you can get on. Anybody can go explore the tools here, because we constantly add new tools, constantly adding new resources into this section. So let's begin exploring a little bit. First of all, an overview of the agent services dashboard is you'll see all these buttons are set up with houses. Why do we do that? Well, we found out that great real estate agents love exploring real estate. So we set up houses so that agents can go explore all the little houses, the buttons that we have here, and check out what is happening on each button. So we encourage you to go to LAERagentservices.com and begin exploring. But I'm going to show you some of the highlights this morning, because on this page, there's tens of thousands of dollars worth of incredible resources for your business. So right at the top of the page, we have this little kind of table of contents or menu. It's a mini menu of some of the things that you might want to check out. Some of the things in this mini menu are really reserved for LAER agents, whereas many of the houses that you'll go down and explore are for all real estate agents. Just up at this mini menu, couple things for LAER agents just to note. First of all, we have our Happy Agent Host schedule. So that's important because if you're a LAER agent, you know we have about 50 office locations throughout New England and Florida. And sometimes you want to have a document dropped off at an office or a check dropped off, for example. And you want to know, is there staff that's going to be in the office, or one of our Happy Agent hosts going to be in the office at that time to receive it? That right here is a calendar of where the staff is working, what their hours are, what office they're covering. So you can say, hey, I need to find out if somebody's going to be in Chelmsford today. You can go click on that and see what the schedule is in case you need something dropped off. The next section is also for LAER agents. It's just the LAER newsletter. Once a month, we do an internal newsletter of what's happening within the brokerage. So this is a nice, simple 4-page newsletter. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can click here, click to download the most recent newsletter. It's only 4 pages. As well, we keep an archive of all of our past newsletters, but this is a fun little newsletter just to let you know what's happening within the brokerage. For example, we recently expanded into with an office in Cape Elizabeth and Portland. In fact, I see 1 or 2 of our Cape Elizabeth and Portland agents on today. So official welcome to you guys. This gets emailed to all of our agents. I just like to point out that if you download the PDF, there's lots of clickable links throughout the document, but it's very short. It's a 4-page newsletter. And we give little company announcements like the fact that we year to date closed over $1 billion in business. As well, we let you know what's happening in the lives of your fellow agents, celebrations, accomplishments, things like that. There's always a movie recommendation, a book recommendation. We talk about different technology that you should consider thinking about for your business. Just great stuff. And then the very back, we have our birthdays for the month. So you can go check all of that out. It's right at the top, our LAER news button, but also we email that out to everybody once a month. You can also see our recently joined agents, anybody that recently joined the brokerage. If you're new, by the way, and you don't see your picture and announcement here, it's because we're missing 2 things. 1, we need your photo, and 2, we need your bio. So once we have a photo and bio, we update you and welcome you to our brokerage through here. This is really just an internal letting agents know who recently joined the brokerage. And then let's see. We then will have a section on marketing. I'm going to show you where all the marketing stuff is in 1 minute, because this just takes you down to the marketing section, which is extremely robust. Growth and development, agent tools. These just move you down to here, like different areas of the site. So all of this is at LAER Agent Services. And let's start exploring some of these. All right. All right. So right at the top here, we have just some resources for recently joined agents. The very first resource is the program guide. That's this book that we were just looking at a second ago, which we'll go back to later. Also, if you're a recently joined agent, we have a frequently asked questions page. This is like the hundreds of most frequently asked questions. Honestly, if you're a LAER agent, the best way to get questions answered is just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. That goes into our customer service portal, where your request will get assigned to one of our staff members, and so that it gets assigned to whoever can answer your question quickly and knowledgeably. We also have some marketing resources here for agents recently joined, so you can either send a letter, postcard, or announce on social media. So that's for recently joined agents. But the bulk of what I want to share with you guys today is the marketing, branding, and presentations. There's tons of stuff that is embedded over this entire section. Get out your pencil and pen, and I'll cover some of the resources that I think you have to have for your business right away. So first button we're going to look at, the first house we're going to explore is guides, presentations, brochures. Okay, important to note here, and you'll be able to see this very quickly, is our entire company, all of our marketing is run off of Canva. This means that you, in order to access any of these pieces, you will have to have a Canva account. many of you guys know, there's two different types of Canva accounts. There's a free version and a paid version of Canva. The paid version, I want to say, is like 13 bucks a month, roughly. And the difference between the two Canvas, and by the way, if you're not familiar with Canva, you kind of have to have it for your business, in my opinion. Only because part of your job as a realtor is to brand yourself and to market and to have great content. And Canva makes it super easy to do that. So I mentioned the free version and the paid version. The difference between the two is the free version of Canva has less stock images. And that's the big reason why I suggest that if you sign up for Canva, you probably want to have the paid version of Canva. So what is a stock image, in case you're wondering? Let's take a look at our buyer presentation, the LAER buyer presentation. By the way, all of our stuff you can customize, you can change out logos and stuff. So if you happen to be with a different brokerage and you like some of the content, you can go through, open a template. So in Canva, when you open a template, which is what I just did, I said, hey, I need a guide. I need a buyer presentation. So I go to guides, presentations, brochures, and I look up what do we have available for presentations available. This is like a PowerPoint presentation for buyers. But let's talk for a second on what a stock image is, because if you have the paid version of Canva, you get way more stock images. Stock images are like this. Sometimes it can be a picture of real estate, by the way. So like this woman accepting keys to the house, that is stock image. This is a stock image of people shopping for a home. Stock image might be this living room. That is a stock image, like beautiful house pictures, exterior and interior. So if you have the free version of Canva, you still get some images, but you get 100 times more images, stock images, if you're using the paid version of Canva. That's the big reason why I say it's worth 13 or 14 bucks a month for your business, because you're in the business of marketing. You're in the business of making everything look good. So when you show up at a buyer presentation or a seller presentation, you want people to say, wow, like this person has really professional, beautiful content. Now, some of you will say, I just want to go with the free version of Canva. So if you're using the free version of Canva, you can absolutely still use all of our templates. You can open this guide to buyer presentation and you can use the entire presentation. However, if you're using the free version of Canva, what will happen is as you go through the document, this is a 48-page presentation. As you go through the presentation, some of the stock images are going to have a big watermark, a Canva watermark across the image. So that means you have to change out the image. Now, you could just use the presentation with the Canva watermark. However, the system is not going to let you download the presentation, which maybe you don't have to download the presentation. So some of you are going to go to a client's house with this presentation, and you're just going to open it in Canva on presentation mode, just like this. So you're going to talk to your client and have your computer or your iPad or tablet, and you'll have to have Wi-Fi access, and you'll present from Canva. But some of you won't have that. If you want to download something from Canva, you can't download it if it's got any Canva watermarks. So all that means is you just have to go and change the photo. So that's your worst case. If you're using the free version of Canva and you open one of our templates and you see a Canva watermark and you still want to use the free version of Canva, the easiest thing to do is just switch out the photo. So you could say, hey, instead of this happy couple buying a house, I have my own photo I want to include there. Or you can switch it out with another Canva photo. Because remember, the free version also has stock images. There's just less stock images. So that's your worst case. Either way, you could still use all of the content I'm going to share with you today, even on the free version of Canva. It's just, you're going to have to take some extra steps to change out some of the photos. One of the reasons we as a brokerage upgrade to the paid version of Canva is we like having thousands and thousands of stock images to include in our marketing pieces. So, by the way, this is one of the pieces that many of you will need to add to your list of things to execute on is a buyer presentation. Oh, I forgot to mention on the Canva paid version of Canva, it has some other cool things. One of the reasons agents upgrade to the paid version of Canva is you can also schedule out social media posts right from your Canva account. So you hook it up to like your Facebook and Instagram so you could schedule out your social media stuff. So that's one reason why agents also sign up for the paid version of Canva. One of the things you'll note, I don't spend your money freely. I understand it's expensive to be a real estate agent. So very rarely do I recommend that you invest in something unless I really think it's important. And Canva is one of those things only because marketing is so important to your business and branding yourself is so important that I think it's a very low out-of-pocket expense to go for the upgraded version of Canva. Okay, in case you came in a little bit late, we're at LAER Agent Services right now. I'm going to come back to this buyer guide in a second because many of you will need a buyer guide. But we're at laeragentservices.com. I scrolled down to marketing, branding, and presentations, and I clicked on guides, presentations, and brochures. And there's listing presentations here, buyer presentations, pre-listing packages, tons of flyers, expired listing presentations. There's just tons of content on here. So it's worth going through, exploring. One of the things one of our agents had asked for, which is not on our LAER agent services just yet, but we're working on it, is to make it more searchable, like a search button. So you could go in and search like buyer presentation and the system will direct you to where to find the buyer presentation. But for now, you have to go in and click on the marketing section, guides, presentations, brochures, and then kind of sift through and find what you're looking for. But let's go back to that buyer presentation for a second. We have a few different versions of this. One thing I want to note when you're looking through these presentations is, first, many of you need a buyer presentation right now if you don't already have one. For the last 25 years, many agents always had listing presentations and never really had a buyer presentation. But with the shifts in our industry, it's becoming more and more necessary to have a buyer presentation because we're asking people now to sign a contract with us as a buyer agent, much like we ask people to sign a listing contract with us. So in order to help the consumer feel more comfortable, it's a good idea to invite them into the office and say, I want to do a presentation for you about the importance of having representation. Now, a couple things to think about is what kind of agency you practice. So for example, on this particular guide to buyer representation, we have two different versions of it. You'll see we have a Florida version and a New England version. That is because in Florida, our agents practice transaction brokerage. In New England, we actually do practice representation, like buyer representation and seller representation. So as an agent, if you're with another brokerage, you just have to make sure that whatever presentation you're choosing, it is compliant to whatever type of representation your brokerage offers. At LAER, we have all of our branding pieces separated. So we have the Florida pieces and we have the New England pieces, so that we know if you're a Florida agent, you would go download the Florida version of the buyer presentation, which doesn't it changes the wording. So for example, the fiduciary duties are very different for the Florida agents versus New England agents. So all of that has been accounted for in these presentations. But these presentations are killer. This is everything that you should be talking about when you go on a buyer appointment, from why they should have representation. We recommend that you put pictures of your actual contract within the document, determining price range, what mortgage options are. So you'll see these are super comprehensive. It's not like a 5-page buyer presentation. We spent a great deal of time like really articulating all the reasons why somebody should hire a buyer agent and put them into a presentation. By the way, as a caveat, I always say it's a good idea to talk about Zillow at your appointments for buyers and sellers. Zillow is not our friend in the industry. Zillow is basically competition. So one of the things we have to be cognizant of when we're talking to our buyers is the fact that they should not be shopping for real estate on Zillow. We do not want our clients shopping for real estate on Zillow, because if you're not having this conversation with your buyer about where they can shop for real estate, hopefully you have a system in place where they can go shop for real estate. If you're not having the conversation about why they should not be on Zillow, then they're probably going to head over to Zillow and put in their information, and then they're going to start getting calls from other real estate agents. If you're not talking about Zillow at your appointments as to why the consumer should not be depending on it, then you're losing business to Zillow. So we embedded into the presentation why Zillow is not the best place to search for real estate. So first of all, it's not a real-time search. If you're a LAER agent and you use Real Scout, that's a real-time search. Like as soon as a property hits MLS, the consumer knows about it through Real Scout. That is not the case with Zillow. Also, as a real estate agent, it's worth taking some time to go check out Zillow as a consumer to see that you cannot narrow a search down. In most communities, it only lets you narrow the search in $50,000 increments. You can't narrow it down by $10,000 increments, for example. Like, I only want to look at a house for $610,000. Doesn't let you do that. Also, most consumers think they're contacting the listing agent, which we all know they are most likely not contacting the listing agent. And for sellers, estimates are usually inaccurate. Most importantly, we want our consumers to know, like, hey, Zillow's not in the market of helping you find your home. Zillow is a lead generation company for real estate agents. So, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer and Seller, if you put all of your information into that system, you will get inundated by sales calls from other real estate agents, plus mortgage providers and other real estate providers, because that's what Zillow does. They sell your information to people. So, something to think about when it comes to your buyer presentations and seller presentations. One of the greatest books to read, if you've never read it, for real estate agents is The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. The Checklist Manifesto basically talks about how the biggest and best industries, the biggest and best companies are companies that work off of checklists. Checklists protect you and protect your business and allow you to scale. So, for example, the airline industry, every pilot has a checklist of things they do before they take off and land. And they pull out their checklist and they actually work off that checklist. And the checklist is so important because it ensures that you don't forget an important step along the way, especially as you are ingrained in any business for a very long time. A lot of stuff becomes rote and you don't think about the steps that you're taking, you just take the steps. So the problem with that, it's too easy to forget steps. Well, one of the stories I always like to share is one of our best agents at our company, strong, high performing real estate agent. She's also happens to be a real estate agent that literally dedicates a great deal of her spare time to volunteering and doing charity work. So this agent has been with our brokerage for, I don't know, 10 years. I've known her for 25 years and literally constantly she volunteers at a shelter, a wildlife refuge. She, if she has spare time, she's driving dogs around to their foster homes. She does so many cancer walks and stuff like that. She's constantly ingrained in helping people and animals. Well, long story short, she lost a listing. This goes back probably 5 or 6 years. She called one day. She was so upset because she lost a listing. She went up against somebody else and didn't get the listing, which is rare for her because this agent is extremely good, does a lot of business. And she was so upset. She's like, I can't believe I lost the listing. And she said, I called the seller and I asked them, like, what could I have done better? And she said, I let them know they chose a great real estate agent. They're in good hands, but I just wanted to know for myself what I could have done better to earn the listing. And the seller said, well, the only thing, the differentiator between the two is this other agent gives money back to a cancer organization, and our family has been hit by cancer. So the agent I was speaking to said, I give thousands and thousands of dollars to cancer organizations each year. I do these walks every year. I raise tens of thousands of dollars. And I said, yeah, but do you talk about it in your presentations? And she said, no, I don't talk about it. I just do it. And I said, that's important to know because you didn't talk about something. It's as if you don't do it at all. So my advice to her was the checklist manifesto. Put something in your presentation where you talk about how you give back to the community or how you give back to charity. And it brings me back to the point that your listing presentation and your buyer presentation are your checklist manifestos for your business. It is compiling a list of the things that are most important to your business and include making them look nice in a presentation format, because even though it looks like a presentation to the consumer, really it's a checklist. It's saying like, hey, these are the things I don't want my consumer to forget about. For example, this is still on the buyer presentation piece of it. For example, embedding into the buyer presentation a conversation with the consumer about what to do when they go to open houses. So saying, hey, when you go to open houses, it's really important to let the other real estate agent know that you have a signed buyer contract. Same with talking about the consumer when they drive by a for sale by owner, having a conversation like, oh, by the way, one of the things you'll want to do when you see a for sale by owner is let me know. I'll reach out to the seller of the property and set up a showing, etc. These are all the things that are easy to forget if you don't have a checklist, because there's so many little things that we have to talk about on a buyer presentation that's just easy to forget stuff. So this presentation covers for the buyer like the 10 most important things that we think you should be talking about at a buyer presentation. We have listing presentations as well. But what I want you guys to look at is this is your checklist manifesto. So this is your checklist to making sure that you're not missing an important point when you're talking to your buyers or sellers. Now, one of the cool things about having a checklist as well is when things don't go quite the way you wish. For example, the story I just shared about my agent who didn't get a listing because she didn't include her charitable and community work in her presentation. Once we had that conversation, she said, you're right. I'm going to update my listing presentation and just include something in there so that in the future, the consumer knows that I do a great deal of charity and charity and community work. So that's the great thing about checklists is that when you go back and look at like, hey, how come that happened? How come I ended up with somebody that didn't know this? You can go back and add to the checklist. So your career over your lifetime is going to be about tweaking your checklist. And it doesn't look like a checklist, but your listing and buyer presentations, these are checklists. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but that was just one. That was the New England version of the buyer presentation. We have Florida versions as well. We also have these buyer guides and seller guides. By the way, I just want to step back for one moment because I said that as we go through today, you need to have a piece of paper so that you can write down 5 to 10 things that you're going to execute on. Knowledge is not power. Please don't spend 3 hours with us today learning all kinds of wonderful information for your business and not execute. The goal of today is for you to go execute on some things so that you can build a better business. We want you to turn today's 3 hours that you're spending, or if you only spend 1 hour, whatever you spend with us, we want to turn that into revenue. We want to help you succeed in your business. So I said, write down 5 to 10 things you will execute on when you leave today's program. The number one thing that you should execute on, if you do not have a buyer presentation, that's number one. Like I said, many real estate agents up until this year had no buyer presentation. Most real estate agents had a listing presentation because we're asking a seller to sign a contract. Well, now we're asking our buyers to sign agreements with us. So we want our buyers to feel super comfortable committing to us and signing an agreement with us. And so in order to do that, we have to articulate our value, why they should trust us with the search for their home. And the easiest way to do that is through a great buyer presentation. And the good news is creating a wonderful buyer presentation, I think, should take you about 20 or 30 hours worth of work, unless you came to today's program, because we've already done all the work for you. I think your buyer's presentation is you go into this site, pick out the one you like, and customize it. It should only take you about a half an hour to customize one of these buyer presentations, upload your logo, your contact information, your photos, etc. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Carrie, I see your question about, it cuts me off at page 14. I need a good link for all the documents. Is that the program guide that you need assistance with? Um, I'll make sure to have somebody reach out so that you can get everything. Most of the stuff that is in that LAER program guide that we started with is all on LAER agent services as well. Let's see. So I just went through a buyer presentation. We also have listing presentations on here. So with the listing, again, this is a presentation format. How I see an agent using this is showing up at a seller's house and having a laptop or a tablet. All this would be customized. So you'd have your photo, contact information, you'd put your logo. And you'd go through and customize this to you and your brokerage. I see, by the way, we have a whole section in here about all the things that a great real estate agent does. This is again the listing presentation. We have different versions, by the way, for New England and Florida, but we go through like all the things that a great real estate agent does just to show the amount of time and commitment that goes into working an average listing. So you guys could take out pages, you can add pages. One of the things that I recommend to agents is showing up at the seller appointment with your presentation, just like I'm showing now. For example, you can present right from Canva. So you can open this template in Canva, customize it, and then it has a presentation mode. So when you go to the seller's house and you're doing an appointment, you could just open it in Canva. Please note, you will need to have access to internet or your hotspot on your phone to do that, but you could present right from here. Or you could download it and present it without Wi-Fi. You could print it. We have some agents that print these and turn these presentations into a flip chart. But feel free to go through and customize any of these presentations. This is a sample listing presentation. So I'm going to add to the number one thing we've added for you to execute on today is your listing presentation, the buyer presentation. I'm going to add to that a listing presentation. If you do not have a listing presentation, you also need to have that as well. Let's see. Let's go through some of the other cool things that are on here. We have these little flyers, which I think are super cute. These are just flyers. We have one for buying a house and one for selling a house. You would upload, of course, your photo and your logo and your contact information, but this is a nice little printout that explains the buying or selling process on a Monopoly board. So let's see, we also, I like these little local guides as well. These are wonderful for an open house. Let's just say that you have an open house in Hollowell, Maine. And this takes about 5 minutes to make a little locals guide of the 10 best places to visit in Hollowell, Maine. So you go in and put your favorite brewery, your favorite place for breakfast, your favorite boutique, and you print these out and you put your logo and your contact information. What's also cool about these, not only are they wonderful for an open house, but also to print out a bunch of them and bring them to the businesses that you featured. So let's say that you feature a local independent coffee shop. You go in, you update your 10 best places to visit in the town, and then you visit each place and you drop off like 10 or 20 of these because they're all branded to you. You just say, hey, do you have a little spot I could leave these locals guide because I've featured your business in it. And now you've branded yourself out at other local businesses. So that's a cool little guide as well. We're working on an update to this right now, so you'll see a new one of these in the next week or so. But we're seeing across the board in all of our markets expired listings again. Expired listings never really went away because there's always a segment of sellers that want to price their properties extremely high outside of the market value. But there was far less expired listings over the last few years than in previous years. Well, we're seeing expired listings again. So it's a great opportunity to explore that market for additional business. So this is our expired listing booklet. This could be used for two things. It could be used for an actual presentation to a seller that has an expired listing. Also, agents use these for creating little packets to go hand deliver to an expired seller. So just like a little booklet. And again, we're coming out with a newer version of this, but it's a great little expired listing guide. We also have a guide to real estate investing. If you're a LAER agent, by the way, we have a 4-page brochure about LAER and who we are. Let's see. As you can see, there's just hundreds and hundreds of pieces on here. The other piece, I like this one. If you have a seller that really does not understand why, maybe they would want to consider offering to pay a buyer agent commission. We have this great little document. Of course, you would change out your photo and stuff like that, but it talks to a seller about why they should pay a buyer agent. So enticing buyers, getting an experienced buyer representation, efficient process, increased visibility, competitive advantage, market insights, things like that. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. Oh, we definitely have some great stuff for high performance homes as well. This is important. As many of you know, we have a Chief Sustainability Officer, Craig Foley. Many of you know him because he does a lot of work across the country with the National Association of Realtors around sustainability. This year, LAER created a buyer presentation and a seller presentation for real estate agents that are interested in exploring high performance homes as part of their market. So if you're going on a listing presentation for a high performance home, meaning it has high performance pieces to it, such as solar PV on the roof, things like that, then we have a very specific presentation for that seller. Same with if you have a buyer who's very conscious about the performance of the home, either for health reasons, environmental reasons. We have a high performance home buyer presentation as well. So lots of presentations in here, buyer guides, seller guides. Let's see if I could show you a couple more. As you can see, there's just like hundreds of pieces in here that you can go in and customize for yourself. There's also this trusted vendors list. One of the things that we'll talk about a little bit later as part of our Algorwin program is you can build. One of the things that agents struggle with sometimes in their business is that their sphere of influence is not big enough. And the bigger your sphere of influence, the bigger the group of people you influence, the more money you will make, the bigger the business you will build. So what happens if you have no sphere of influence? The fastest way to build a sphere of influence is by building a trusted vendor program for your business. That is all built into our AlgoWin business growth system, which I'll talk about later. But it all starts with having a document where you put your favorite people in. Who do you recommend for house cleaning? Who do you recommend for plumbing? Who do you recommend for movers? Who do you recommend for construction? Things like that. So we have this trusted vendor list that you can start building that right inside your Canva account. Just seeing if there's any others that I want to highlight. I think we got most of them, but I just want to go back to your list of things that you're going to execute on when you leave today's program. Is first of all, we said you want to have 5 to 10 items that you're going to go execute on in your business. So number one is a buyer guide or buyer presentation. Number two is a listing presentation. These are two things you have to have for your business, in my opinion. To be a professional real estate agent, you need to articulate the value you bring to the table if you're asking somebody to sign a contract with you. So a buyer presentation, a listing presentation, we've already done the work for you. There's several to choose from on this site. They can all be customized. You can take out what you don't like. You can add what you do like. You can upload your photo, your contact information, your logos. So buyer presentation and listing presentation, these need to be number one and number two on your checklist of things you will execute on if you have not done so already for your business. And remember that they are your checklist manifesto. So that just means that even if you do have a buyer presentation and a seller presentation, I want you to start thinking about those as your checklist. So how can you go back and consistently tweak them to make them even better so that you can increase your own performance over time? The third thing that you want to execute on, just based on the content we have right here, is a buyer guide, a buyer package, a seller package, and a investor package. A buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package. So we went through buyer presentation and seller presentation. That means that that's the presentation you show when you show up at somebody's in front of a customer, a buyer or a seller. But you also need something to hand to them, a presentation that you can, or a package you can hand to them so they can continue to explore after you've ended the meeting. So you want to have a package for buyers, a package for sellers, and a package for investors. Typically, this would look like a folder. So you put, you'd have a branded folder. For buyers, you would put in, for example, a buyer guide, which we have here for you. You can just customize ours, a buyer guide. You should put a brochure about you and your company. We have a LAER brochure. If you're a LAER agent, we have that for you. I would also include that monopoly board of the steps to buying a home. I would also include my trusted vendor list. So those are the kind of things, but you want to have like a nice comprehensive package. Same for sellers. So you have a seller package that would be like a seller guide, which we have here, the monopoly board of the steps for selling a house. You might put your trusted vendor list in there as well. Maybe a locals guide to the market where the property is located. All the stuff is already here. Third, you would have a package for investors. So that would include the investor guide. It might also include the monopoly board of the steps to take for buying a house. But you want to have 3 professional packages that are ready to go. I recommend that you have all these packages ready and you print out 10 of each. So you have 10 buyer packages, 10 seller packages, 10 investor packages. I also recommend you buy one of those big Tupperware bins and you keep these packages in your vehicle, Because as you're out and about throughout your day, you might be at Starbucks and hear somebody talking in line that they're interested in buying or selling a house. Instead of just giving a business card, we want you to be able to approach them and say, I heard you were thinking about listing or buying a house. That's my field of expertise. I want to give you a package of resources that you can begin exploring. By the way, always get their name and phone number. Don't give something without collecting a buyer's name, phone number, email address, so you can follow up at a later date. But you want to be able to give something that's better than a business card. Business cards get thrown away or tucked away or lost. A package does not. People save packages. They put it on their coffee table or their kitchen counter. So you want to have all of these packages created. Have 10 of each of them all printed and ready to go. One of the pieces that will quadruple the success of your business is your personal energy. You'll see we talk a lot about energy. Every human being is a transmitter of energy. We are energy. And some of our training you will see, or our Alcorn business growth system, focuses a great deal around your personal energy. But one of the things that creates energy for your business is being ready for business. So when you have these packages all created in your own mind, you're now open for business. And when in your own mind you're open for business, then you transmit that energy in everything you do. When you're out food shopping or running errands, the energy you're putting out to the world is, I am open for business. When you have a lot of projects that you have not done, that like, hey, I really need to get a buyer package done or a seller package, that is in your own head, but it affects the energy that you are transmitting to the world. So get these things off your list. Have your buyer presentation done, number one. Have your listing presentation done. Number two, those are your checklist manifestos. Number three, have a Tupperware bin with your buyer package, your seller package, and your investor package, all created in your car so that your personal energy is transmitting to the world that you are open for business. All right, we're done with the marketing and branding section. We're already 1 hour in and we've only visited one house so far. Next, NAR settlement resources. If you're a LAER agent, you guys know we've spent like weeks and weeks doing weekly training programs on the NAR settlement. I think we're all past the NAR settlement, but I will just note that we did create a wonderful playbook of all the real estate forms for the markets we do business in. So basically, this is like a 150-page booklet we created. And it covers all the new forms for Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Florida. So basically, we go through state by state. We break down each of the forms. We have little videos on how to execute on the form. So download the guide. If you download this PDF, by the way, it then has clickable links so you can go explore further. Also, under this resource section, we put lots of additional pieces to include in your buyer presentations and seller presentations. These are outside resources. We've collected articles, for example, on why sellers should pay a buyer agent, why buyers should hire a buyer agent. So as you go through, we have all kinds of articles and white papers, etc., on that you should incorporate into your business. But as I said, I think most of us are familiar now with all the forms, but there's some great resources that we've created on our own there. Weekly social media assistant. I'm gonna have Sergio, head of marketing, come on and talk about that in a few minutes. If you're a LAER agent and you ever need a special marketing request, we have a button here. So as you guys know, if you're a LAER agent, we automatically do all of your marketing and branding pieces when you get a new listing. So, but for example, the concierge marketing bundle that you receive as a LAER agent includes a brochure, all of your social media pieces, a LAER brochure. But sometimes you want something more. Maybe you need a 4-page brochure for your new listing, or maybe you need you're doing an advertisement for a church bulletin. If you need special marketing requests, that's what our team is here for. We have an entire team that basically all they do is marketing. There's also a section here of open house resources. I'm going to click on that. All kinds of cool stuff here for you guys to check out. Couple things. We have like little welcome signs and interior signs for your open houses if you want to label the interior of the open house. We also have these little pop-by tags. So sometimes you want to give like a little gift at your open house. We have these little thanks for popping by tags that open in Canva. You can go in and customize and stick them onto microwave popcorn. So you have a little fun giveaway for your open house. We also have a whole section of activity sheets for kids. We recommend at your open houses to have a little section just for the kids that come through, so that if a family comes through and they get some little kids, you don't want the kids say, can we go? Can we go? You want the parents to be able to go spend some time looking at the property. So we have like a little activity book, so you can create a little activity center at your open house. By the way, we also have, if you're a LAER agent and you need somebody to cover an open house for you, we have this little open house coverage button that you fill out a form and it'll email all the agents in the office just to say, hey, I got open house that I'm looking for somebody to cover. We have lots of agents that want to do open houses and they don't have inventory. So if you have a lot of inventory and you need somebody to cover your open house, fill this out. We'll get that covered for you. Also, if you're doing a broker open house, we have a button here that you can fill out that notifies all the agents within the offices that you select that you're doing a broker open house, because we want them to show up. We love it when our agents support each other. All right, going back to our homepage. Commercial resources. We're primarily a residential real estate brokerage, although we have spent the last year, because the market shifted a little bit, it's been necessary for agents to find additional niches for their business to make up for a gap in production from prior years. One of the ways agents have done that is with commercial real estate. So over the last 8 to 10 months, we've been building out our commercial resources. So if you head over to the commercial real estate section, we created a commercial listing guide, which many agents are also using as a listing presentation for commercial real estate. It's a 25-page booklet. We also have commercial offering memorandums, some valuation models. All of our commercial logos are in one place, and our LAER commercial group. And moving down a little bit, signs, apparel, and marketing. Let's take a look in here. Many of these are just links to companies that sell products. All of these links will take you to a page with LAER branded stuff if you're a LAER agent. So if you need like signs, for example, these will all take you to the pages that have all the LAER signs. But specifically, I want to take you down to this print marketing section. This is really important for everyone, and you'll want to get out your pen and paper, because we're going to add some things that we're going to want to go execute on after watching this section. Okay. Down here under print marketing, we have 5 resources. One thing I like to point out is we don't get paid anything for recommending these resources. We only recommend them because they're very good and they will help your business. The first one is MLS mailings. Anytime you can find a set it and forget it system for your business, sign up. Because one of the challenges every real estate agent eventually faces if your business is growing is you eventually run out of time. There's only so much time for you to do everything. So one of the things that many agents do is just listed, just sold postcards. I'm a big fan of just listed, just sold postcards because when a market is not as busy as previous years, many agents restrict their spending. So I could see it just in my own mailbox. I get way less real estate agent marketing in my own personal mailbox at home than I did 3 years ago when the market was super, super busy. So it's an opportunity to stand out. Well, I love MLS mailings. MLSmailings.com does just listed, just sold postcards, but what's unique about them is they hook to your MLS so that you set up your system and you tell the system, hey, every time I list a property, I want 100 just listed postcards to go out to everybody in the surrounding houses. And every time I sell a property, I want 100 postcards to go to all the houses in the surrounding property. The system hooks into your MLS. You set it up once with your logo, your contact info, and your photo. And every time you list or sell a house, the system emails you with your designed postcard and it says, hey, is this okay to send? So that you don't have to sit and design and do anything. The system says, hey, we know you just sold a property. Here's your marketing piece we already created. Can we send it? Anytime you can find a system that is set it up and forget about it, you got to sign up for it because it allows you to leverage your time. And let's take a look at the pricing on it. The pricing is reasonable. I always have to click on it only because the postage changes. So the pricing changes as postage price changes. But you'll see basically if you want to send a smaller postcard, it's 96 bucks to send 100. If you want to send a jumbo postcard, it's 127 bucks to send 100 of them. Not a bad investment to just know that it's all done for you. You don't have to think about anything. Your mailer is going out. So I'd add that as a number 4 on my list. If you don't already have a system for automating your just listed, just sold postcards, I think that should be number 4 on your list. Just listed, just sold postcards, set up my MLS mailings account so that I don't even have to think about it. My mailers are getting out to my customers. All right. Next, the personal marketing company, another set it and forget it system for your business. So they do all kinds of marketing, postcards, print materials, but there's one in particular that I love, and I think it's this one, targeted. Let's see, I always forget the name of the one that I like the best. We have a handful of agents that use this system. Nope, not that one. There we go. Okay, it's under tpmco.com. That's the personal marketing company. TPMCO, the personal marketing company. And they have this automated client follow-up, which costs you $48 once. It's a one-time charge of $48. And what it will do is send to your customer 21 mailings over a 5-year period. And that includes all the postage. So this is phenomenal for after closing. You close on a transaction, and statistically, what will happen is you forget about that customer because you already closed on it. You're moving on to your next transaction. And this person who just bought this house probably isn't buying a house right away for a long time, at least. So we forget about them. I say it statistically that happens because there's statistics from the National Association of Realtors that basically say most consumers work with a different real estate agent the second time around. Why would that happen if they really love? Most consumers statistically love their real estate agent when they close on their house. They're happy with that agent. Yet the statistics also show most do not use the same real estate agent again. So whose fault is that? Usually it's us. It's the real estate agent not staying in touch with the consumer. Also, we know that the average person or family moves every 5 years. So this could save you a deal a year, for example. And it's a one-time charge, 48 bucks. You set the person up once, perfect for after closing. You close on a transaction, you set up a system to go in, add the person to the TPMCO, automated client follow-up, you pay your $48 and you're done. You don't have to think about it again. That person is going to receive 21 mailings, all branded to you over the next 5 years. It'll have your photo, your logo, your contact information. The mailers all vary. Some of them are a postcard, some of them are a magazine, some of them are a letter. Doesn't really matter. It's just all coming from you. So it looks really good. And it lessens the chance that somebody's going to end up going and buying from somebody else because you forgot to stay in touch with somebody after the closing. So that is TPMCO. I would add that as number 5 of my list of things to do if I don't have an automated campaign after closing for my customers. So TPMCO, and it's the automated client follow-up. TPMCO has all kinds of other cool products as well, but the number one, 48 bucks, one-time charge to not have to think about it, pretty phenomenal. There's a couple others on here for you to check out. Wise Pelican. Specifically, I like Wise Pelican. First of all, they have tons and tons of templates to choose from for your business. But specifically what I like is they have this cool, they have like a lead capture piece to their mailers. So one of the areas where agents sometimes lack on when creating mailers is they don't have a lead capture component to the postcard. They have that here. So you can create a mailer for a free CMA. So you want to send a mailer to your neighborhood for a free CMA. It'll create a QR code with a little form that the consumer fills out with their name, address, and phone number, and it will email you the information when the consumer clicks on it. So specifically why I love Wise Pelican, they do have a lot of templates to choose from, but specifically I really like the lead capture piece to their marketing. Yellow Letters Complete is also a product used by many of our agents. They do a few things. Some of our agents that go after like foreclosure properties or pre-foreclosure properties use the Yellow Letter program because basically the system will allow to create like a little handwritten note that gets sent to the consumer. So it looks like you wrote a handwritten note to the person. But I like this for other reasons as well. So if you're going after like pre-foreclosure, this Yellow Letters Complete is a great product because you could do these little handwritten letters to people like, hey, I drove by your house and wanted to reach out to you to see if I could offer my services, my pre-foreclosure services, something like that. But these are also wonderful for holiday cards because Yellow Letters Complete will do handwritten holiday cards or note cards in bulk. Say you want to send 500 handwritten note cards. Yellow Letters Complete is the way to do that. They have two different versions, by the way, of their handwritten notes. You can do AI handwritten notes where it's a computer generated handwritten note, but also they have humans that'll handwrite your notes for you. I've used these in the past for doing a bulk if I want to send out hundreds of little handwritten notes. For example, I've done it on Mother's Day or Father's Day, where if I want to have like a note go out, but I can't write 200 or 500, then Yellow Letters Complete is the place to do it. I also included in here RSP USA, also targeted marketing. I like they have specifically this cool little program that does these sheets. So you could do a mailer and it shows like your recent listing, for example, but it will also show like it's a breakdown of all the properties that have sold nearby with their prices, how much they were on the market for, how much they sold for. So this is really cool for like targeted neighborhood marketing. So letting the consumer know, it's like chock full of information that says, hey, here's a most recent sale in your neighborhood, but also here's a list of 20 others in the area that have sold, and it gives some pictures and stuff like that. So those are our recommended print marketing products. Let's go back to LAER Agent Services. We got a couple more that I want to show. Oh, the ROAR report. There's two different types of newsletters that agents typically use in their business. One is a print newsletter and one is an email newsletter. Since many of our agents like to have a print newsletter that they can hand to clients or give out at open houses, we put together once a month what we call a ROAR report, although you could change the name to whatever you would like. We put it out, it's the same newsletter. So each month we change all the content of the newsletter. Some agents like to print it on 11 by 17 and then have it as folded 4-page newsletter. Other agents just do the 8.5 by 11 and they print 4 pages. But basically, we write all the content. So this opens in Canva and you'll see there's these ugly red circles. That's just so you know what you have to change on those pages. We want to make sure you change out your phone number and contact information. But other than that, this is a really nice newsletter. We cover like moving and landscaping and home repairs. It's a benign little newsletter to give out. By the way, one of the ways our agents use this is for mailings. So you could print these, fold them, staple them, and mail them in bulk. And some of our agents, typically what they'll do is partner with, for example, a mortgage company, where they'll cut out a big section of, all of this is customizable. So let's just say you don't want to have the article on downsizing. You can cut out the article on downsizing here and put your own picture and contact information, or you could do an article about your favorite mortgage person or an article about your favorite restaurant, so that if you're doing your mortgage company, maybe they help pay for the mailing because you're featuring them in the newsletter. As well, we have agents that use these for featuring like local restaurants and local businesses, and then they'll go bring the newsletter to the local business and ask if they could leave it there. So that is our ROAR reports, 100% customizable. And we have a whole section here, logos and images, that if you're working on a project and you need that. I also want to point out we have a whole section on seasonal pop-by tags. So tons of pop-by tags. One of the things I'll go over shortly is our Algorwin program, which is our agent growth system. We wrote our own manual on how to get to 30 transactions a year. There is an algorithm to success in our business. And so we created the Algorwin. And one of the pieces of the Algorwin program is just getting out and visiting even just 5 people a week to say hello and reconnect with you and your business. And we always say it's nice to never show up empty-handed, to have some sort of pop-by that you show up with. So we created these pop-by tags. We have all different themes. For example, we'll click on a couple of them. Since it's fall, we have these ones. So these are meant to be customized, and then just print them and you can tape them on to, like this one's pumpkin spice real estate advice, that you could give out with maybe some cider or pumpkins or something like that. And whoops, I just lost my page. We also have jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkins is a great pop-by this time of year. So if you're going out and visiting 5 or 6 past customers, just print these out and tie them on to a pumpkin. Let's give them pumpkin to talk about. So these are just little cute pop-by tags to add to your pieces. If you're doing like a jack-o'-lantern carving set, like the kind you can buy at like CVS or Walmart or Walgreens, these little pop-by tags just say, I'm always willing to carve out time for you and your referrals. So we have all kinds of cute pop-by tags just to include in your pop-by appointments each week. So that's a great deal of our marketing and branding. I want to invite on Sergio. Are you there? We'll have Sergio come on. Before I head down, we still have a lot more to cover regarding, I want to go over our Algorwin program, some of our other business growth systems. Also, we have a phenomenal toolbox of technology I want to share with you guys. So we still have a lot more to cover, but I want to invite Sergio to come on. I went over most of the stuff that's available for marketing and branding available to everybody. I'm going to have Sergio just give you a quick rundown on some additional resources available. Some of these are available for only LAER agents, but rest assured, this piece will only take about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to many more resources that are available for all agents. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sergio.
Okay, thanks, Stacey. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, real quick, I'm just going to go over a couple of the programs we have for our LAER agents in terms of marketing. The first is the LAER marketing bundle. So when our agents, when their listing goes live on the MLS, our team gets to work. We create this marketing bundle, which includes a brochure, as well as social media pieces that follow the whole transaction of the home. So all the way from just sold and then from new listing all the way to just sold. These are delivered via email and then as ready to use PDFs and images, but we are also always including Canva templates. So every single marketing piece that we create at LAER is done in Canva, and then we share those original designs with our agents. So they always have access to the original files. Again, we're not sending files back and forth. We're just sending these links. It's all in the cloud. And so it helps us have it helps our agents have all this access to really great designs, including the LAER marketing bundle. So what I'm going to do is give a live demo of what that looks like. So I'm going to bring over an email. Oh, wrong one. That's the social media. But here is a typical marketing bundle, right? So we have this listing, this great listing from one of our agents in Connecticut. You'll see it says, the address and then your concierge marketing package. So If you are a layer agent and you can't find it on your email, let's say we sent it, last month, and then you have a price change. What I like to do is just search for the word concierge. That'll bring everything up. It's a pretty unique word. Otherwise, you can always search for the address and you'll see that pop up on your email. Now you'll see 3 links. We have a link. The first 2 links are for Canva, and then we have a download bundle link. I'll click on this one first because these are our ready to use pieces, right? So we have a brochure. This is a PDF, which you can, if you click on these 3 dots and click download, you can download this as a PDF. You can even print this directly from your browser by clicking on print. It'll generate this PDF thing. Click print again, and then you're able to select your printer and print. These marketing pieces are all ready to use. So if you have this new listing piece here, you can click on the 3 dots again and then download to your computer and then post on social media. Now these links also work on your phone. So if you have Google Drive installed on your phone, it works even better, but you don't need to have it installed on your phone. You can just download these images directly to your phone and then post on social media. The other 2 links are for Canva. So we have our brochure, which is a Canva template. This is a little different. It's not technically a Canva template because you don't get that initial screen that says LAER is sharing this with you to make a new copy. This is a live template, so it makes it easy for us to make any changes. You can always email happyagents@laerrealty.com if you are struggling with a change or you need some help with a design. Our team always has access to this document. Otherwise, you can do any changes by yourself. What I'm gonna do for this is create a copy just because it is a live listing and I don't want to mess up the agent's design here, but let me show you how easy it is to update this document. So let's say there is a price change down the line. All you need to do is click on this the box where the price is, right? So we have this text box, and let's say it went down, I don't know, 250, right? And just like that, you're able to change it. Click on share and then download. Because I want to print this out, I can download this as a PDF print, right? If I want to share this via email, I can use a PDF standard. It just makes the file size smaller so it's easier to email. Or if for whatever reason I want to share just this to social media, and I've seen agents share just this to social media, I can download this either as a JPEG or a PNG. We don't really recommend using this on social media just because there is this description and it can appear fairly tiny once you're on social media on your phone, for example. But you're able to do whatever you want with this design. It's your design. You can add to it. You can change the photos around. For example, if I do want to change my picture here or any of these images, these are all drag and drop. So I can go to my uploads, click on upload files. Let me just choose an image, just a sample image of a different home, just to show you how easy it is to just drag and drop. I can grab my image and then drop it in. So we do our best to choose the best images for your listing, but if there's a particular image you want to feature, you can upload your images and then click and download, or click and drag, and then drop it into the frame that you want it to be in. So just like that, I was able to update my brochure here. All of the changes save automatically. You'll notice there's a little cloud here. This is all saved on the cloud, but if for whatever reason you make any mistakes, there is an undo button, which you can click. Your actual bundle you can use with the free version of Canva, right? We try not to use any of the pro features, and these are your images, so you'll have access to that. So you can always use these with the free version of Canva. Now the same is for our social media pieces. Now these, if you scroll down, you'll see all of the different pieces that we have available. One thing I like to do is click on the different grid view here so you can see all of them at once. Or you can choose a thumbnail view and then choose the one that you want to use. So for example, we have this featured listing. I like it as is. Again, you can come in, change anything you want, but I can click on share and then download. You want to choose the specific page. So under select pages, we click on all pages once to unselect everything. And then choose our page that we do want to download. So featured listing, click done, and then I can download the image. I can do that, or, this is the share button. It's not the download button. So I can share directly to social media from my account. If I click on share and then see all, scroll down to social, you'll notice these different social media channels. And especially if you click on see all, you see all of the different social media channels that are available. Now, you can click on Facebook, right, to post to your Facebook page. I already have this connected to my Facebook page, so I'm able to do it automatically. But if we go back to our social, if, for example, I want to connect it to Twitter, it'll prompt you to connect your account. So as long as you're signed into your Twitter account, your X account, or your different social media accounts, you can authenticate with them, and then the next time you do it, you'll be able to post automatically. Now it's going to ask me which pages to post, so make sure that you select the correct one. I want my featured one. And then under write something, this is where you would write your description, right? So you can put in your description. It gives you the amount of characters you have. And then you can click on publish to post it immediately. Or if you have Canva Pro, you're able to do a schedule. And so that is the marketing bundle. So the next thing what I'm going to do, actually, before we are done with the marketing bundle, there is another link all the way at the bottom where you can order a 4-page brochure. So if you went out, if you have a luxury listing and you went out and got really nice photos and you want to feature them on a brochure that's larger and allows for more images, you can order a 4-page brochure, again, by clicking on that link. We'll create something like this for you. It opens up on, it's prints out on 11 by 17 paper. And if you're at any of our offices, we do offer this size for our copy machines. You can print them out at any of our offices. You do have to request it though. We don't create these for every single listing, just because not every listing warrants one of these. But if you did go out and had some nice images taken, you have a nice, brochure created for you. Just make sure that you order it by clicking on that link. So we can move on to our next thing. We have our LAER social media assistant. So this is a different program that we have for our LAER agents. So as a LAER agent, every Monday morning, you'll receive both a text message and an email with social media for the whole week. This includes 7 to 10 social media posts, right? And so all of these are real estate related. We do include a few holidays, but the majority of these are really great real estate content that we create for you. Now, we not only include the image, right? So we have some nice images that we include, but we also create suggested captions and hashtags, right? So we'll create an image that is very compelling, but it's not full of text, right? So all of the text will be in the captions and hashtags. So we might provide some tips about home selling, getting your home ready for sale, and the rest of the we can call it almost an article will appear in the caption. So be sure to look at those captions and use them. Now, these are delivered to you as ready-to-use images, but also Canva templates. So you can go in and then customize them even further if you want to change around any of the pictures, the logos, etc. So let me give you a live demo of that as well. So every Monday you'll receive an email that looks just like this. Now at the beginning of the month we include some Facebook covers, so you can use either of these. We have some for New England and Florida. I didn't notice the little witch there. I thought it was just trees, but that's a nice touch. Now, this is what I'm talking about. We have a really great image, right? And again, you can customize this however you want, or you can use this just by clicking on the download button in your email client. This will download to your computer. And then we have our suggested caption, right? So to use the caption through email, you can just highlight it and then copy and paste. We also include some suggested hashtags as well, and a section here where you can add your information for contact. Now, let me see if I can give you a demo on how to actually use this. This is just an internal group that I use for testing, but you can see this as your personal Facebook page or your professional Facebook page. I'll click on photo and video. I'll choose the image that I just downloaded, and then I'll paste my caption. As you can see, this is all basically ready to go. I can make sure to customize this section here by adding my phone number, email address. If you do a lot of things by WhatsApp too, you can add that. In this case, I'm just going to take it out. And then we have our suggested hashtags. You can use any of these or some of them or none of them. I'll keep these here. And then when I'm ready to post, I can just click on post. And that's it. Now this is platform agnostic. You don't have to use it with Facebook or Instagram. It can be any kind of social media. You can use it on LinkedIn. But just like that, I have my social media piece posted. Now, like I mentioned, we include 7 to 10 social media posts for the whole week. So on Monday, you can spend an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most, and schedule out all of your social media posts for the week. And we give you everything you need as a LAER agent. So if you're a LAER agent, look out for this email and text message, and let us know if you don't see it. You can email us at happyagents@laerrealty.com. And so those are two of some of the great marketing resources that we offer our LAER agents.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sergio. All right, let's go back to just going to reshare my screen here. We're going to go back to our LAER agent services dashboard. We're pretty much, actually, I think I'll go back first to our LAER program guide, and then we'll go back to LAER agent services. There's a couple other things I just want to cover quickly on the marketing front, and then we're going to move on to some of the cool technology available. Okay. Okay, so we're still in the LAER program guide. You can download this, by the way, at laerrealty.com/success tools. As I mentioned, the booklet is set up into 4 sections. We have the first section is just marketing and branding, which is where we spent most of the morning. We're going to then move on to technology, some of the cool technology available for real estate agents. Then we're going to check out training and growth resources, and then finally end the day with some additional administrative support stuff. So let's see, you got to hear from Sergio this morning about our done for you marketing support. That's for new listings for LAER agents. I do want to point out that we also do 7-day boost on all new listings for LAER agents. So if you get a new listing, we automatically boost it on HomeSpotter for 7 days. And any of the leads that come through do go directly to you as the agent. So if you get a new listing and you start seeing emails come through, it's probably from the boost system. These are cold leads. So when we originally started this, it's basically Facebook marketing, Facebook, Instagram, and pay-per-click marketing of your listing. When we originally started this program, it was designed to get more leads for agents. Now, while it does get leads, 10 to 20 leads per listing, they are very cold leads. So I do recommend that you reach out to them 2 or 3 times, but if you don't hear from them, then just put them into your email marketing campaign, your set it and forget it drip campaign, so that you're staying in touch with them. The cool thing about this program is that sellers like it, because sellers get to see that we're marketing for them. You got to see our done for you social media assistant. That is every Monday you get texted or emailed all of your social media posts for the week. So that one of the things agents tell us is, I want to be able to advertise on social media, but I don't know what to say. This is the answer to that. We create all of the social media pieces for you. We also are huge supporters of both Cloud CMA and RPR. We have beautiful branded versions of both of these products. We also have some great magazines for including in your listing and buyer presentations. So with that, we can move on to the technology section for about a half an hour, and then we're going to move into some of the training and coaching resources and where to get some great stuff for your business. So in a little bit, we're going to head back over to our LAER Agent Services section, because so far we've only really had time to review the marketing and branding pieces of that site. And there's still a lot on there, including technology, that we want to cover. So at LAER, one of the things when you join our brokerage, there's a lot of tools that you get they're complimentary, from .loop to app files, depending on whether you're New England or Florida. These are transaction management systems. We also provide showing time, Cloud CMA, the upgraded version, Boost by HomeSpotter. And for those who wish to have a full email system, we also provide G Suite. Now, one of the things agents ask when they join our brokerage is, are there any monthly fees or tech fees for being part of the company? And the answer is maybe. We do have an optional $39 per month tech bundle, and it includes 3 products. By the way, we would recommend these products anyways. So even if you're not a LAER agent, I highly recommend that you stay tuned, because we're going to show you a quick demo on one of the products. But rest assured, we would recommend all 3 of these. If you go out and buy these products on your own, you basically pay $39 a month individually, because we have a lot of agents that sign up. Our product, we're able to get a bulk discount. So all 3 of them together are $39 a month. Now, the number one product of the $39 per month tech bundle is Isact. Isact is a set it and forget it CRM system. So quickly, what the system does, and the reason we love it so much, is, as you guys all know, there's a million CRM products for real estate agents out there. There's a million. This one is a very basic one. So it does not have a ton of bells and whistles associated with it, but it's so simple and easy to use. It's easy for agents to adopt. So that's the number one reason we recommend this to all agents, is because it's so simple to use, and it's a set it and forget it system. I said earlier that anytime you can find a system that you could set it up once and forget about it, you have to incorporate that into your business because it allows you to scale. It's the only way to scale in your business. So that's what the Isaac system allows for. It creates a monthly newsletter for you, and it's a beautiful newsletter. It creates all the content. Can you go in and change the content? Absolutely. It writes a little letter from you each month. But most importantly, once a month, your clients get to hear from you with a little newsletter that looks like this. The first time you log in, you set up the header so that the header has your picture, your contact information, your logo, and then a background picture that represents the market that you're in. Once you set that up, then every month it's just going to send a newsletter to everybody that you put into your database. So this is why the product is so good, is you just set it up and you kind of forget about it. By the way, if you have Isaac, make sure you're actually utilizing it for your business. So we do classes on a monthly basis, our tech tool classes. If you have the Isaac system and you're not using it to its full capabilities, we have some resources for you. First, in the LAER agent service or in the LAER program and services guide, you'll see all these little videos. Anything here that we have underlined, that's a hyperlink. So there's all these short little tutorial videos on how to set up the system. That's part one. Part two, if you go to youtube.com/LAER training, we recorded 2 one-hour classes on Isaac. One is beginner and one is intermediate. And it walks through everything you need to do to set up your Isaac system. The third part is you can sign up for a briefing session at laerrealty.com/briefing, in which case you'll get a one-on-one call with Ashley, who will help get your system set up so that it's working for you and that it is truly set it and forget it. By the way, the big thing it does is the newsletter, but it does some other stuff, like it'll send an email. If you put a client's birthday in there, it'll send a little birthday card on their birthday, things like that. So it does lots of other cool things, but most importantly is that monthly newsletter. The second part of the $39 per month tech bundle is the Boston Logic website. This is an agent branded website. It is templated, which means you can go in and make changes to it, change out photos, etc. If you're a LAER agent, when we deliver it to you, we deliver it all branded and ready to go based on your marketplace. One of the things I tell agents in this day and age, first of all, these websites are beautiful. They have a full IDX search. The consumer can search for real estate, etc. However, I still tell real estate agents, don't spend a lot of time futzing around with a website, because a website is like a business card. You should have one, but probably nobody's going to use it. I'd rather that our agents spend more time focusing on building like their Google business page. Your Google business page will always come up at the top of a search. Your website's never going to show up at the top of a search. It would cost you too much money to even get your website recognized at the top of a web search under the new algorithms. So focus on your Google business page. Have a nice website so that you can list it on your business card. You can have it in your email signature, stuff like that. Have a nice website, but don't spend tons of time tweaking it and fixing it and customizing it. Just set it up so it's beautiful and then go work on something that's going to generate you business, like your Google business page. The third part of our $39 per month tech bundle is Real Scout. Real Scout is a property search platform. This is how we teach agents to compete with Zillow. I said before that your buyer presentation and your listing presentation are your checklist manifestos, and that you should be talking about Zillow in your buyer presentation and your listing presentation. If you're not talking about Zillow, you're losing business to Zillow. You have to keep your customers off of Zillow. So, and there's many good reasons why they shouldn't be on Zillow. They just don't know the good reason. They think that's where they're supposed to go to search real estate. And it is not designed to help them find real estate. Zillow is designed to help find them a real estate agent. That is the purpose of Zillow. So it is not designed to find them the best property for them. Real Scout is. Real Scout is like having your own Zillow, but just much more accurate information. So with that, I'm gonna have Ashley give you guys just a quick rundown on what Real Scout can do for your business, because it can be a game changer. We're super excited because we now have Real Scout is now approved for our main agents. It took a long time for Real Scout to even be able to be available for main agents, but now it's available for main agents as well. So Real Scout is a phenomenal product, and I'll have Ashley go through just a quick rundown of the 10 things that you could do with Real Scout to up your game. So with that, I'll leave this to Ashley.
Thank you, Stacey. And I'm so glad that we can have Real Scout in May now, because I know, you know, with our new acquisitions up there, I know everyone was asking. So I'm glad that's working out. They are working on it. So if you did get that little IDS form that you had to sign from them, we don't need to have everybody signed up. They will work on getting those that have already signed the form, their accounts up and running. So I did ask them the timeline on that. I haven't heard back yet. So hopefully by Monday or Tuesday next week, those that have already have it will get access to Real Scout. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So as Stacey was mentioning, this is just a little quick guide for Real Scout. Can you see my screen? Why is it?
Yes.
Okay, you can see it. It's just on a different screen because I moved my offices around, so everything, I gotta reorganize it all. So this is just a little quick guide about Real Scout. So the first thing that I tell agents is that there is a mobile app as well as a consumer version app. So there is a difference between the two apps. So if you are an agent, you're going to want to have the app that has the black background with the White House and the word pro across it. And it's going to say agent dashboard. Your consumer version or client facing version is going to be the reverse. It's going to be a white background with a black house, and it's going to say Real Scout Home Search. That's your client version. So your clients can download that app as well. The next thing is that every agent that has a Real Scout account, they have a unique sign up link. So what this does right here is you can market your Real Scout platform. So let's say I have my Real Scout account and Stacey has her Real Scout account, right? The link is not going to be the same. It's going to have your name right here. So actually gendro.realscout.com. There's different things that you can do with the link. You can put it in your emails. You can put it in Facebook on your posts. You can put it in your Instagram posts. If you want to, you could probably turn this into a QR code somehow and put it in the rural report or any other newsletter or mailing that you do send out. You could probably do it that way. I'm just not that tech savvy. And then you can also onboard. So there's another link that you can use for new clients or potential clients to onboard. So there's the two different ways that you can do that. The next thing is that there is a way that you can verify which MLS you're in. So if you are an agent that has multiple licenses in multiple states and you have Real Scout and you want both of your licenses or all of your licenses added, just email Happy Agent and I can show you how to add those licenses, or I can do it for you on the back end. So when you create a client alert or a market activity alert or a home value alert, the data feed right here will say which MLS it is. So if you see cross MLS search, it means that you have two licenses. So I have my Massachusetts and my New Hampshire license associated with my Real Scout account. So that's why I have the cross MLS. So to select which MLS you want, you would just click on the drop down menu. And if it's a client who's looking in Massachusetts, you would do MLS PIN. If it's a client looking in New Hampshire breaks theirs out into residential, commercial, rental, land, commercial lease, different categories. So that's why you see the more broken out categories. But if you had somebody that wanted to search in both New Hampshire and Mass, you could just leave it on the cross MLS search. However, if you just do the cross MLS search, it's more of a basic search and you don't get the more customizable search features that one MLS would provide, such as a school boundary or a school district for a particular client. The next one is that it's super simple to add a client. You just click on the add client or alert button, follow the prompts. So their emails, I always do their first and last name because you could always have two Johns as a client. You want to make sure you're talking to the correct John. And then recently also what Real Scout did is right here, you didn't necessarily have the option before to designate if they were a buyer or a seller or a buyer and seller or other. I went back too far. So they recently added that. So it's great if you have a client who is selling their property and also buying, you can just create an alert for them as a buyer and seller. The next thing is once you create their name and their email, you can go through, add any criteria that you want, such as, you know, bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet, if they want waterfront, if they want to be in a condo. But if you're not in the cross MLS search, Real Scout does allow you to also search by HOA, specific subdivisions, etc. And then also what you can do is you can save this alert to a client. And also the alert schedule is daily. I always set mine as ASAP. So anytime a new listing comes on, you're going to get that same email that your client sees. So if you're out on the road and you don't have access to, let's say, your desktop or the mobile app, you would get this email and you would see the house that your clients see. And then the next thing that I do with this too is I always check send copy to myself. So that way I get the same email that my clients get. There are a couple different unique ways that you can search parameters in Real Scout as well. So one of them is you can draw your own outline, you can draw a polygon, you can draw a rectangle, and you can also do a specific radius. So let's say you had somebody who worked in the medical field and they needed to be a specific radius from their hospital, because if they're on call, you can always find their hospital or close to like where their hospital is and draw out a radius from there. So for example, if it's 25 miles, you could draw a circle that would be 25 miles out that way. So there's more search features like that than there are in MLS. Again, you can search by school district, condo association, development name, subdivision name. You can't necessarily do the school search in MLS. I know in some MLSs you can do the subdivision or the HOA, but you can do that in Real Scout. The next thing is how do you update a client search? So on the left side, when you are in your Real Scout account, there's a navigation bar or tools panel. On the left side, you would just select on the contacts tab, and then it'll come up with your contacts. You just select the contact that you would like to edit. So if you want to edit her search criteria or her listing alerts, you would just click on the edit button right here. And then once you click on the edit button, it's going to bring you to the screen that has all of the properties that match their current search. You would just click on that edit filters button, change the criteria that you want to change. And then once you are done changing or updating their criteria, you would click save. And then once you save it, it's going to ask you if you want to send an alert with all unsent listings. So let's say you increase your client's price from $350 to $375, right? You're gonna have new searches, you're gonna have new properties that match that new search. So you're gonna wanna send them an email with the updated listings that now match their search. Last year, around this time, Real Scout introduced something called Auto Nurture for clients. What I love about this is that you can enable it, so anyone that you add to Real Scout is automatically going to be enrolled in this Auto Nurture. It's a great way to keep in touch with your clients. Again, set it and forget it system. We love it. It's, you know, Isaac is a great set it and forget it system, but Real Scout has this feature as well. So if there's not enough data for a particular client search alert that you have set up, the Auto Nurture will create an email campaign. And if your client starts to look at houses that don't necessarily match their criteria that you had set up for them, so let's say you do a 3-bed, 1-bath, but they start looking at 2-bed, 1-bath houses, Real Scout will cater to the 2-bed, 1-bath as well with this Auto Nurture feature campaign. The next one that I like to say is what you can use for your buyers, you can flip and use for your sellers. So there is a monthly market activity report that you can do for your buyers. So you would just select the town. You could also do it by zip code, and this will give you some data about how many buyer interactions there are, how many active buyers there have been in a specific area. So this is kind of, I call it a heat map of buyers, or, you know, if it's for sellers, you can use this information and say, okay, you know, you're here on price, but I say here, and this is data of buyers that have been in your area. You can do this for the last 365 days, 180 days, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. And then this report goes down further and breaks it down, and you can see how many buyers there were on a specific day by hovering over this line. You can see the top viewed properties. So if I have a client who's looking at a top viewed property, I'm going to use this data to, you know, strengthen our offer. So instead of maybe your 31-day close or your 30-day close, I might ask the lender and say, hey, this is a competitive property, it's a hot property. Is there any way we could do a 21-day close with appraisal title and all of that stuff? And then I also, you know, might do a home inspection cap or something like that. So I use this not only for my buyers, but I use it for my sellers when we are trying to accurately price the property as well. So that's my tip number 9. And my tip number 10 is just, why is Real Scout better than a website? Again, the above average search experience, new property alerts daily, or as soon as properties come on. The property search emails are filled with photos, and it allows your clients to like certain features, dislike certain features, and you can get all of that in your dashboard, where as an MLS, you just get that they liked or disliked a property. You don't get what specific about that they liked or didn't like. There's a mobile app, and then it can integrate with different lead platforms. So if you have Zillow leads, realtor.com, I think Boomtown's on there. A couple other lead platforms are on there. And then again, I just have this, let's talk about Zillow, as Stacey mentioned earlier, that you should be talking about Zillow and how they're inaccurate. You know, they're just in the business to sell your information to other people, and you're not actually talking to the listing agent or that real estate agent. And again, their search, that's the biggest thing about Zillow, is that their search, you can't necessarily cater it or make it the search you want without so much of a hassle. So with that, I'm going to give it back to Stacey.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
You're
All
welcome.
Let's see, we're gonna go back to. I'm gonna go back to our LAER program and services guide, and then we're gonna head back over to our LAER agent services, because I want to go through our Algorwin program, especially if you're an agent that's struggling to get to 30 transactions a year. This is the program that can be a game changer for you. All right, so what we just finished watching with Ashley was our how to utilize Real Scout, which is part of the $39 per month tech bundle. This is what I want to say. Going back to the list of things that you're going to execute on when you leave today. Quick rundown. I said number 1, a buyer presentation. Number 2, a listing presentation. Number 3, buyer package, seller package, investor package. 4, MLSmailings.com. I would highly recommend that you sign up for that. So your just listed, just sold postcards are automated. And 5, TPMCO, getting your after closing 5-year trajectory straightened out, or set it and forget it with marketing, so that once you close on a transaction, you have a system in place to stay in touch with the person. So that's number 5. Number 6, I highly recommend you figure out a really good system so that your search is as good as Zillow's. Really important that you work into your checklist manifesto a conversation about Zillow. Even if you buy Zillow leads, by the way, we absolutely have agents that still buy Zillow leads, but you should still be talking to buyers and sellers about why they should not be searching for real estate on Zillow. And the only way you can have that conversation is if you have something better for them to utilize. And that's where Real Scout comes in, digging in and learning the Real Scout system so that your clients have this incredible search ability without having to go to an outside resource like a Zillow to look for houses. Okay, let's move over to our career development section. Couple things. First of all, I mentioned earlier, actually, I'm going to go over to LAER Agent Services to go through this. Let's just see. I'm back at laeragentservices.com. This is kind of the hub where you can find literally everything for your business. But if you scroll down here, there's a section on agent growth and development. And a few things I think are super important here. First of all, we have a link to all of our upcoming classes and meetings and coaching. If you click on our training calendar, you can see all the training that's coming up. Like if you want to sign up for a class on something, you can see our calendar here and sign up for that class. By the way, there's an overlay down at the bottom. Here, let's just say you have a Google Calendar or iCal. You can embed our training calendar on top of your own calendar so that you never miss a training class again. So highly recommend that you head over to our training calendar. This is super important. Everybody should do this right now. Go to youtube.com/LAER training. This is our YouTube station, and all the classes we do, once we run the live class, we then put it on our YouTube station. So the best way to never miss one of our classes is to go to youtube.com/LAER training and subscribe. That way it just sends you a ping. Your phone will have a little message every time we add new content so that you never miss anything. It'll say, hey, we just updated this. You can go see our leveraging chat GPT class or our most recent bootcamp class. So definitely subscribe to this, we just have so many classes on here. For example, if you go to our playlist section, you'll see one of our most popular classes is our social media masterclass. So if you click on our social media masterclass, you can see the last 16 videos that we've recorded. So every month a new class is put on. It's really highly focused on building your presence on social media. But by heading over to YouTube, you'll never miss one of these classes. But I also want you to click on the playlist section because we've organized everything to make it nice and easy for you to find. Let's go back for a second. I then want to just cover our business plans and growth systems. This one's really important. First of all, last year we came out with our Algorand system. This is our agent growth system. We wanted to create a program to help get agents to 30 transactions a year. And that ended up being our Algorand system. What does that stand for? Algorand is algorithm. There is an algorithm. An algorithm means that if you put certain input into something, you can expect a certain output. This is the input. This is what the output will be. We know in real estate, so we have about 850 agents. Many of those agents are super high performing agents, doing anywhere from 10 million to $80 million a year in business. That's a lot of business. So we examined the highest performing real estate agents and we said, okay, let's make a list of everything that our high performing agents do to develop a successful real estate business. We then went and crossed off the stuff that less than half of them do regularly. And then we were left with one list. That list is, here's the things that all of our highest performing agents do. There is a commonality in all of our highest performing real estate agents. And with that, we built our algorithm. We said that if you do this input, you will get this output. That is the algorithm. And if you do it based on this system we created, you will win in your business. That's why we called it the Algorand. So this program is this workbook. By the way, you can download it here. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you can actually download our entire workbook. If you're a LAER agent, we send this to you as part of our onboarding. You would have received in your welcome box when you joined our brokerage, the Algorand workbook, but this is a checklist manifesto. The entire system is built off of 7 checklists. That's how simple it is. And by the way, these checklists are not heavy lifting. The checklists are not like a 500-point checklist that you must do. Absolutely not. It's 7 checklists. One checklist is a checklist that you do once a year. And it's 12 items that you do once a year to get ready for a successful year. Here's the trick. Sometimes agents do all the right things in their business, but because they didn't do the one checklist that has to be done once a year, they lose business. For example, once a year, we say, Google you. If you Google you, would you hire you? It's really important to ask because the first thing anybody will do most of the time when they are referred to a real estate agent, they're going to Google you. And so what does the first page of a Google search look like when somebody Googles you? Do you have a professional photo? Do you have a really strong, well-written bio, like you took time to write a bio for yourself? Many of you don't even realize that you have a free realtor.com page that you can go in and update. it's important to note because for many of you, the realtor.com profile page is what shows up on a first page of a Google search. And if you haven't updated it, which many agents don't, it has whatever brokerage you were in when you got your real estate license is the one that is displayed on realtor.com. So if somebody Googles you, it becomes clear very quickly you've switched brokerages over time. So that's the type of things that we have on the once a year checklist. Like, hey, get your act together on these things because these 12 things once a year are going to affect everything else you do in your business. So 12 items that you do once a year. Then there's 9 items that you do once a month, 9 items that you do once a week. And then there's 4 more checklists, which is when you have a new seller appointment, a new buyer appointment, a new listing, and then people appreciation event checklists, because one of the ways you'll build your business is through regular events. So that is the crux of the system. It's so simple. Unfortunately, the things in life that are easy to do are equally easy not to do. So we have this phenomenal system. We've had many agents that actually follow the system to a T to get to their 30 transactions per year. But also for agents that need additional accountability, we also have our coaching program, which is laerrealty.com/laer coaching. It's all based on the Alcorn system. So if you sign up for coaching, we put you in a group coaching program where we pay the coach, you don't pay them, we pay them, and they help you identify why you're not completing the very simple tasks that are necessary to get to 30 transactions. Getting to 30 transactions for many of you would be life-changing. That means that you're easily well into the mid 6-figure incomes, $300,000, $400,000 a year. But there's little things that prevent some people from achieving their dreams. And that's why coaching makes a difference. It's identifying, for example, where are the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from doing some of the steps of the program. So all of that is part of our Alcorn system. And by the way, I'm still at the LAER Agent Services dashboard, and I'm just under Agent Growth and Development and then under Growth Systems. So that's our Alcorn system. We're extremely proud of it. We see agents having phenomenal success with the program. Like I said, if you're a LAER agent, we send you that workbook when you join. As well, you can download. Anybody can go there and download a PDF version of the booklet. Secondly, we have some other business planning tools here. This is a traditional business plan for real estate. So this is the stuff that typically you'll see, like if you go Google real estate business plan, this is the type of plan that many agents are used to. This is a wonderful tool. We wrote our own business planning guide. This is like a 50, I want to say it's around 50-page booklet. And it's wonderful to like take an accounting, especially this time of year, to really focus on where your business came from the last 12 months, where you're going to get business moving forward, etc. So this is a wonderful booklet to print out and do with your team if you're running a team, for example. Third, we have a third option, which is our simple plan. What would life and business look like 1 year from now? So this simple plan was a product, like a little plan we created, because for an agent to have a big breakthrough. So for example, if you're a $2 million producing agent, you will probably always be a $2 million producing agent. That's what statistics say, is that once you get into a comfort zone as to the amount of business you do, you're going to be within a 10% variant of that business year after year after year. Well, what happens if you're not happy with that goal? What happens if you want to go from $2 million a year in production to $10 million in production. Well, that's going to require that you become a different version of yourself. The version of who you are right now got you to where you are right now. In order to get to a different place, you must become a different version of yourself. So this guide is a guide that forces you to an awareness of who you are, what kind of thoughts you have right now, what are the things that have created who you are here, so that you can design the person you would need to become in order to break through and have a different level of results for your business. So it's a little bit different than a typical business plan, because it really has you focus on where you are as far as business goes, and who you are right now, and what it would have to look like a year from now in order to have a different result. So really important stuff. It really helps just trigger an awareness for yourself as to who you are and where you are and what you want to do for yourself. There's also a little document here called an income producing activities checklist. That's just a helpful tool. One of the challenges agents have is, what do I do when when I wake up each day? What should I be working on? Very, very easy in our business to get stuck working on stuff that doesn't generate any business. So the income producing activity checklist is just a helpful checklist that if you find yourself in a rut, you can download that and say, okay, I'm going to go pick a few things on here that I'm going to go work on in my business. So that is all under agent growth and development. We also have a whole section on continuing education classes, which we've partnered with the CE shop for. Next, our agent toolbox. We've gone through a lot of this stuff today, but a couple things that I do want to point out for you guys. Under technology tools, two things. We created this cool listing description generator. Anybody can use this. You don't have to be a LAER agent. I understand you can use ChatGPT, but also we created our own AI listing description generator, where you just type in how many paragraphs do you want for your listing description? What is the property address? What type of property? We have you check off some boxes about the property, how many bedrooms, baths, square footage, how many acres, and then type out some of the features for us. You press send, and the system within 30 seconds sends you a wonderfully written listing description. Of course, the caveat is you got to read it and make sure there's no like housing violations in there by accident or anything like that. But super easy tool. Again, anybody can use it. You're going to put in your email, so it emails you the listing description. We also have a wonderful agent bio generator. This is one of my pet peeves. Is that many real estate agents don't take time to write a really strong bio or resume. And if you think about it, every time we meet with a buyer or meet with a seller, we're applying for a job. So would you look at your bio that you have on your website right now, and go look at your LinkedIn profile and ask yourself, like, if you were going to apply for a regular job in corporate America, would you show up with that bio? Is it strong? Does it say what makes you unique and special? Does it articulate your value? So I think some agents don't know what to write. Like they just get stuck. Like, I don't know what to write about myself. So we created this agent bio generator with just some trigger questions that it asks you. And then the system just emails you a bio so that you can update the sites. This is part of the Alcorn program as well. I just mentioned that there's certain things that you have to do once a year. And once a year, we do have you do a deep dive into what does your bio and resume say when somebody Googles your name. Because the first thing a customer is going to do when they're introduced to anybody, including a real estate agent, is they're going to Google your name. And do you shine when somebody Googles your name? If you Googled you, would you hire you? So go write a really good bio about yourself, and we've created the tool to make it super simple. It takes 5 minutes to have a wonderful bio. Down at the bottom here, there's some other cool products just to check out. Other great technology tools that we recommend. Again, we don't get paid anything. Not looking to make any money on any of these products. We just believe in them. Xiaomi is number one. Have you ever had a system? We're a larger company, so typically if you need somebody to cover a home inspection for you or something like that, there's usually a team member that's happy to do that. But maybe you're going on vacation and you need somebody to show a house for you, etc. Xiaomi is like the Uber of real estate agents. So you can book a licensed agent to go show a house for you or to go sit at a home inspection for you, and you pay them by the hour. You set the rate, and then Xiaomi sends out an email to the Xiaomi agent seeing who they can find that will cover your appointment for you. The cool thing about it, Xiaomi has them sign all kinds of documentation that protects you so that you don't have to worry about the agent stealing the customer or anything like that. Under Xiaomi, it's not possible. I also tell agents that this is a wonderful tool if you're a newer agent and looking for some extra income, because it allows you to have kind of like a part-time revenue coming in, but it's still real estate related. You're getting out, you're looking at houses, getting to learn about properties, etc. You could become a Xiaomi agent, and it's basically like a shared revenue platform, but you would get paid to go cover a home inspection or show a house for somebody, etc. Okay, HomeBot AI. This is a newsletter that some of our agents utilize. It sends out, it's a set it and forget it newsletter that basically emails your client once a month with what their property value is and stuff like that. I do want to point out for LAER agents, if you're using Real Scout, you can use Real Scout for the same thing. So you don't necessarily need HomeBot if you have Real Scout, because you can set up the client through Real Scout to get a monthly property report, which will tell them roughly what the value of the property is and things like that. Home Value Leads is a lead generation platform as well. What I love about Home Value Leads, this is great if you like doing like Facebook advertising, for example. It will allow you to set up these landing pages where a consumer can get an instant home value report, so they can find out the value of their home instantly. Of course, you want to have a caveat in there that actual market analysis where a professional comes out and evaluates the house is much better course of action. But this is a lead generator for you. So Home Value Leads, basically the consumer goes in, types their property address, and then the system will email them what their property is worth. By the way, it keeps emailing them. Every month, the person will get an email with the most recent value of their property. The reason specifically, I know there's tons of companies that do something similar to Home Value Leads. The thing that makes Home Value Leads a little bit different is they have what's called a partial lead capture. So it'll create a landing page and it'll say, find out what your property is worth. Now, first of all, what's good about the landing page is it does not make it clear that you're a real estate agent, because some consumers are a little bit wonky about filling out a landing page form for if they know it's a real estate agent. Why? Because they don't want to get called by real estate agents, which is why you have to have the Zillow conversation for example, because the consumer doesn't realize by filling out the forms on Zillow, they're going to get bombarded by real estate agents. But Home Value Leads is like a landing page, and it'll say, find out what your West Palm Beach property is worth. And it has a little line where it'll say, put in your property address. The person types in their property address and it says, get your home value instantly. So the person puts in their property address, then they press go. I want my instant home value report. Then it takes them to another page that says, okay, now we just need your email so we can email you the home value report. This is the value of the system for you, because what happens? Well, 50% of the time, the person says, okay, I'm not putting my email in. I don't want somebody contacting me. But the Home Value Leads program has what they call a partial lead platform. So what the system does, it'll wait about 1 minute. And if it does not receive the email from the customer, it will, because now some customers are backing out, they don't want to give their email address, the system will still email you as the agent, and I'll say, hey, Stacey, somebody at 10 Main Street in Chelmsford wanted their home value report. That's valuable information. They may not have left their email address, but we already know information about the person at that house. So what would I do? I'd still create the home value report. On the back end, you can create the market analysis using the system. And I'd go knock on the door and hand deliver it to them and say, hey, just want to introduce myself. I saw you were on my system today. And for whatever reason, it doesn't look like the report was sent to you, but I want to introduce myself and give you the report. That's pretty valuable. Most of the other lead generation systems don't have that partial lead capture. And it's so valuable because literally 50% are going to back out. They don't want to leave their email address because they're worried that you're going to reach out and keep contacting them. But we want that. We just want to know what property address is so we can get the information over to them. Exposio is an app. If you're not going to use professional photography, I'm a huge proponent of professional photography in your business, because every listing you get is an audition for your next listing. Every listing you get is an audition for your next listing. So even if you've listed a $75,000 mobile home, and you might say to yourself, I don't want to waste money on professional photography, I'd say you're crazy. I would definitely invest in professional photography because it makes a huge difference in marketing. And it's not about selling that mobile home. It's about auditioning for the people that are looking at the listing, saying, wow, look at this agent, like, goes out of their way to make everything look beautiful. You're always auditioning for your next transaction. So yes, even if it's a $75,000 mobile home, I say go get professional photography. If you're not getting professional photography, Exposio is an app that you can download, and it's it's AI, and it takes your not professional photo and makes it look as professional as possible. So I think they charge like $1 per image, but if you are really have your heart set on not spending for professional photography, Exposio is the next best thing. I still think professional photography is better, but Exposio is the next best thing that you go, you would take your photos with your phone, and then the Exposio app makes them all look prettier and brighter and more beautiful. And then you don't pay for them until you select them. So it'll take all the photos you've done for your listing, and let's say there's 30. It'll then send you a email and it'd say, here's the 30 that we've done. And then you pay for the ones that you want to download and use in your listing. So if you pick 10 of the photos, you're basically paying $10 for your 10 re-exposed images that you have. So all that's under the technology tools section of our site. Normally you would get to meet Craig Foley, but he was teaching a class today on sustainability. Craig Foley is our Chief Sustainability Officer. He's a wealth of knowledge on sustainability. We do have a lot of agents focusing on sustainability as a niche in their business. Of course, why not? It's so, with all the things happening in the world as far as climate change, and not only climate, but also people being super cognizant of health when they're buying a property. This is a really interesting niche to build your business. So we have all kinds of tools through Craig on sustainability. So you can go check out some of those if you're interested in building a niche around sustainability. If you are, I highly recommend that you become a green designated agent because you'll get so much great knowledge about sustainability there. A couple other things for agents. We do have a button for getting paid. So this is where you do like the LAER check request that notifies our team that you have a closing so that they can cut checks for you. We also have a whole section here on agent safety, which is an important matter. We wrote our own guide to agent safety. It's like I want to say it's like a 12 or 15 page booklet on safety tips for real estate agents. You can find it at laerrealty.com/safety. And not only that, we put links to all kinds of tools that are organized around realtor safety. Some cool apps to download, products you can buy like the Invisaware jewelry for safety, things like that. Also, if you keep going down further, you can find our agent directory if you're looking for an agent. As well, you can get a list of all of our offices throughout the country, specifically in New England and Florida. And by the way, if you're a LAER agent, you can use any of our offices at any time. Just go to laerrealty.com/office access. And there's a little form you can fill out and it'll give you the information for accessing whichever office is best for you. And that is basically it on our agent services site. I'm going to go back just for a minute. We only have a couple more minutes before we wrap up today's program. Okay, we're back to the LAER program and services guide. You guys have already seen the whole training and coaching section. I want to point out really quickly, every year we bring in speakers and trainers that enhance what we're already offering as a brokerage. One thing I forgot to mention, which is really important, if you go to www.laerrealty.com/finish strong, many of you have heard of Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer wrote the book, The 7 Levels of Communication. Phenomenal book for real estate agents. It offers a blueprint. It's a story, by the way. It's told in a parable, but it offers a blueprint to building a successful business. We hired Michael to do a 6-month coaching program for our agents, and we're about a month into the program. If you go to laerrealty.com/finish strong, you can watch each of the videos that we've recorded so far, get a list of the homework assignments for each week. But more importantly, even without going and watching the past videos, please join us every Monday morning at 10:30. You can join us on a live call with Michael Mayer where he answers questions, stuff like that. It starts at 10:30. It's anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, but just put it on your calendar every Monday at 10:30, and we do it at laerzoom.com. Phenomenal. Agents agents each week write to me saying, I can't even believe I've been in the business for 20 years and I'm having the best year of my life because I'm implementing the tools that I've learned through the Finish Strong program. So really important just to note, if you're interested, that's for any agent at any firm. Please go check that out at laerrealty.com/finish strong. And that's just complements the programs, the training programs that we already offer at LAER. It's like an extra boost so that you guys can thrive in 2025. Let's see. We already covered all the training stuff, so I'm going to click through there. The last part is just the agent support services. The one other piece I want to go, I won't spend a lot of time on this. If you're a LAER agent, always know the fastest way to get assistance from our staff is to go to happyagent@laerrealty.com. That's not a regular email address. It goes into a customer support portal so that your request gets assigned to whoever is best suited to answer your questions quickly and knowledgeably. So if you need anything, and we're available 7 days a week, it could be on a Saturday, whatever you need, email Happy Agent and we will get it done for you. I do want to make sure on this booklet we have, the LAER Program and Services Guide, which you can download at laerrealty.com/success tools. There's a page of all the different companies that offer leads to real estate agents. I tell agents to sign up for all the referral fee-based lead platforms. You guys know there's subscription-based platforms and referral fee-based platforms. The referral fee-based platforms are companies that say, hey, sign up with us and we'll charge a referral fee if you close on a transaction. I say sign up for all of them. So throughout the year, you have business coming in from different sources. So these are the ones that other agents at our company use, like Agent Machine, Estately. I will note, sometimes when you go on to sign up, by the way, these are all live links. Sometimes when you go on to sign up for one of these, there's waiting lists and stuff. Those waiting lists are all designed to see if you're going to stop at a stop sign. Don't stop. If there's a waiting list, still fill it out, upload your information, because you never know where the next transaction is going to come from. Yes, the referral fees are high, 35, 40%, but who cares? You have somebody that you can turn into a raving fan for your business. Raving fans refer business. So yes, if you get a referral from a referral fee-based lead platform and they close, you got to pay a referral fee. However, your job is to market to that person and turn them into a raving fan so that they're referring you, their friends, family, next door neighbors, etc. Of course, we're a realtor organization, very proud to be realtors. The last piece of the LAER program guide just lays out where all of our offices are. By the way, I just want to put a quick plug out there. If you're an agent that attended today and you're not a LAER agent, but you're interested in learning more, please send me an email. My name is Stacey Alcorn. I'm the founder and CEO of LAER Realty. We've been around for 10 years. We have about 850 agents. You can email me at happyagent@laerrealty.com and just say you're interested in a confidential conversation. By the way, that's even if we don't have an office in your area. We're interested in expanding everywhere. So if you're interested in hearing what LAER has to offer, we would love the opportunity to have a conversation with you. And with that, I want to thank everybody, LAER agents and agents from other brokerages that spent an entire day with us today. 3 hours is no joke on a Zoom. So I appreciate you for appreciating your business so much that you're willing to spend 3 hours with us today. Quickly, I just want to go through Please don't leave today's program without writing down the things you're gonna go execute on. Don't waste the fact that you spent a morning here. Write down the things you're gonna go work on and then come back at a later date and take the class again. But some of the things I highly recommend for every agent, you should have a buyer presentation, you should have a listing presentation, you should have a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package. MLS mailings for just listed, just sold postcards. TPMCO, the Personal Marketing Co. for after closing 5-year follow-up campaigns for $48. If you're an agent that doesn't have a way that consumers can search real estate easily, highly recommend Real Scout. Because you got to be talking about Zillow with your buyers and sellers. And then please go check out our Algorwin program. If you're struggling in your business, you want to figure out how to get to 30 transactions a year. Just go to Algorwin. We'll help you. That system is a resource for directing you on what to work on in your business to generate success. With that, thank you so much. I want to wish everybody a happy fall. I'll see some of you probably next month. And thank you for your commitment to your business. Thanks, Sergio, and for our team for presenting today. Thanks, everyone.